So what up, FPS fans? You know who it is. If you don't, it's your boy Shake. And I've got another surprise for you guys. I've got another great talk. Two great people on the panel tonight. My buddy Optimus Magnum. Go ahead and say what's up to the people, Op.
What's up, everybody?
All right, and my good friend Mixmaker117.
Hey, everyone.
All right, so we're going to talk Titanfall. You guys both got a chance to play the beta. As you know, I did not play the beta. I represent that entire community that is on the fence, that is undecided, that not necessarily believes the hype. And so it's up to you guys to explain to me, to answer some of the questions that I have, some of my concerns. And you guys know, I already did a commentary with 3 other very highly respected first-person shooter individuals in the community, and they answered a large majority of my concerns. But the game comes out on Tuesday, and we're recording this a day or two before the game comes out, and this video is the defining moment. This is that moment. This is either it's going to be an impulse buy for some people, and they're going to go out and get what they need to buy Titanfall. You know, some people are going to have to upgrade their PCs, or some people are going to go ahead and spend their rent money on an Xbox One. So it's up to you guys to kind of answer some of these questions and let me know. Starting with Mixmaker, you are coming from the Halo community.
Yes.
And this is a very, very near, like I said before, that Halo community is a very near and dear community to my heart. I love the Halo community, and I came up on Halo as far as first-person shooters are concerned. Required a lot of skill to play that game, and now I'm looking at Titanfall. And from your perspective, you know, the game looks great in my opinion from what I've seen. But I want from your perspective, you know, the Halo fans, you guys that thrive on skill-based gameplay. You know, how does Titanfall fit in there when they incorporate bots? How do you feel about adding in bots when you come from a community where it took skill to kill everyone on the map?
Yeah, well, I think first off, you got to look at the competitive side of what these games bring, right? Halo kind of drew in a lot of people to the competitive scene during the Halo 2 and Halo 3 days. So I think bots are something that are new to first-person shooter players, but you look at competitive games like League of Legends, and they have a similar, not quite the same, but a similar way of introducing bots in those matches, and that's widely regarded as the most competitive game on the planet, right? So, you know, off the bat in the beta, the bots were kind of mindless. They were very easy to kill, but they also aided you in getting your Titan, which was time-based. So regardless of your skill, you're going to get those Titans based on time. But the more kills you rack up and getting rid of the bots quicker obviously helps your team, because they can kind of team up on you in unexpected spots. But the bots were interesting. I didn't feel that they deterred from the gameplay as much as they were kind of a senseless AI to kill. There was a lot of times where they would spawn and I would walk right up behind them and kind of snap 3 necks in a row, or they'd be looking at me. Now, with the cloud-based, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but with the new technology behind the Xbox One, I know that the bots are going to become better based on how people are playing them and how people are killing them. So it should be an interesting thing to look at, let's say, a month or 2 or 3 down the line, when some of that AI is actually affected by the gameplay. So it should be interesting to see how the bots, you know, do down the line. But it is an interesting mechanic for sure, and something that I think, again, is very foreign to first-person shooters. But I think time will tell to see what the success is on the bots.
Okay, so I mean, from what I gather, we're looking at an evolution of first-person shooters. When we talk about a next-gen title, we're really looking at a true next-gen, like a totally different next-gen experience, something that we've never experienced before. Yes, they had bots in Black Ops 2, a training mode or something like that, but this is something that is incorporated into the game, and it's actually part of the atmosphere, part of the culture of the game. So this is to me, it's an evolution. Is this something that we should expect, and what we shouldn't fear? Is this what you're kind of telling me?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, you look at games like League of Legends with bots, and those games are highly competitive. So I think the goal is to have these bots kind of adapt to players' play style and how people take them out, and to become more, I guess, vicious based on their artificial intelligence down the line. That's at least what I've read from it. Now in the beta, they weren't the smartest things, but it was a very interesting mixture of playing a bot and human opponent in the same match. So you have the Spectres, I believe they're called, and taking down one of those is a little bit more tough than taking down a pilot, which is human controlled. So it was an interesting mixture, and you definitely have more points for killing a human player or a pilot. I found that not to be imbalanced at all. I just felt the bots were kind of there from the beta. They weren't exactly my favorite thing about the beta, but I don't think it deterred too much from the overall experience, at least in my experience.
Okay, now Optimus Magnum, you
Yes,
are
sir.
someone that has pretty much experimented with almost every shooter possible that I can think of. I mean,
yeah.
Homefront, Call of Duty. You were a pillar in the Call of Duty community for so many years. You're someone who is very, very educated in that department. And I said earlier that you saw the light at the end of the tunnel somewhere around the beginning of Black Ops, maybe Modern Warfare 3. You started to gravitate towards, the PC, and you also was gravitating away, or I would say you were repelling away from the Call of Duty genre. How does Titanfall fit, in this new perspective of first-person shooters? How do you see this game as a valid first-person shooter, considering that you're stomping around in robots and there's bots in the game? Where does this game fit? I mean, this is nothing like that I can think of that you've played before.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing like I played before. And that's what the excitement was. Well, at least from my standpoint, the excitement that I felt was playing something that I haven't felt or played before. And we all know, with Call of Duty, it just seems repetitive. It just seems like it's the same game every year with a new kill streak or something different every now and then. But with this game, I mean, from day one, from turning it on and playing it, it was just the speed of it, the action, the intenseness, the feel of being inside that Titan after you get it, or when seeing it drop from the sky, like just the, I don't know, I got emotional. Like I haven't had that much fun since Modern Warfare 2 first came out. I would say that, like, just, and I could say I honestly had more fun, and it was just the beta. So we don't even know what the full game is going to be like. And I was having this much fun on 2 maps.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go back over to Mixmaker. Another question. I have seen the evolution of first-person shooters, just like the many of you guys. I think some of the first games that I played back in my day, if I can remember, I can't even remember the name of the first. I can't remember the name of the first-person shooter that I played.
Had to be GoldenEye, right? At least up there.
It was probably GoldenEye in retrospect, but when I think of a game that I immersed myself into, there was one game that I can't think of the name of it for some reason at this point in time. We'll get back to that. Anyway, the question that I have for you, Mixmaker, and I'm also going to have Optimus piggyback on this question. One of the reasons why I thought that Titanfall was one of the major concerns that I had was that this game was way too casual. So many people, from every interview that I've seen, people that interview Vince Impella, people that represent IGN or represent GameStop or GameSpot. So many people that have interviewed the developers, and they're expressing their gratitude towards this game. Oh, guys like Adam Sessler over at Rev3 Games. A lot of these people have been talking about how they don't even play first-person shooters. I'm not a first-person shooter guy, and I loved it. Typically, I don't play multiplayer games because they're usually require too much of my time in order for me to get good at them. So this was a game that I was easily able to pick up. To me, that was a bad sign. I thought that this game was, representing a trend where a lot of games are being dumbed down so that everyone can play it and so they can make the maximum amount of money off of these titles rather than giving the game enough substance to last you for an entire year. So my question is, I'm seeing things like invisibility. I was told that this is not a problem. I'm seeing things like bots, things like that. When you come from the Halo the Halo community. You're coming from a skill-based community. How does skill play in the Titanfall game?
So, coming from, like you mentioned, coming from the Halo side of things, I think the thing that made Halo so great was it was about rock, paper, scissors. And if my rock was better than your rock, I win. Now, as Halo came down the line and they started to release games like Reach and Halo 4, which had a lot of variables to it, a lot of variables that were out of the player's control, that brought down the competitive edge. So, even within the Halo community, we're looking for more competitiveness. So there was something interesting to be seen. And the real big reason I wanted to play Titanfall was to see if it was truly competitive or if it was more of a casual gamer type of game. And I gotta tell you, Shake, from the moment you pick it up, you have that familiarity with it, but it also reminds me of the first time I played something fresh. Like the first time I played Halo Combat Evolved, the first time I played Call of Duty 4. Those games were fresh first-person shooters, and the movement in Titanfall is something like you've never played before. The parkour, being able to run up against a wall and leap from one side or one building to the other and continue to jump on top of buildings, and the verticality of this game is really what separates it from, let's say, something like Call of Duty. Battlefield has verticality, but the quickness of which you can get up and down in Titanfall is something that I really liked. Moving on to the bots, I thought this is where it was, or I shouldn't say bots, the Titans was where it really became competitive for me, because I quickly realized that it became more skill-based than it was just having this overpowered machine that you hop into. The fact that you can strafe in the Titans, and the fact that you can counter what your opponent is doing when you get in these Titan-on-Titan battles, and you can catch the bullets in midair and throw them back out and shoot rockets whenever you want. And on the flip side of that, they can defend themselves by catching your bullets and throwing them back at you. I felt like the Titans really were the most competitive thing about Titanfall, which was shocking to me because I thought it was going to be more of the pilot's, movement and stuff like that. So I found that the game was actually extremely competitive when you get in the Titans, and everybody has a fair, chance to get these Titans because it is time-based. The more kills you get, the more stuff that you do, you can actually build up that timer faster. But, there was a couple times in the beta where I'd have these games where it'd be 1-on-2, and I was able to use a building for cover or wait for my teammate to make that one move to get, one of their Titans distracted, and you kind of move in. And I really felt that was the most competitive thing about it. Now, like I mentioned before, when you start adding variables in like invisibility or the burn card system that they had, that's the kind of stuff that to me takes away from competitive titles. I understand you want to get a big player install base for something that's a new IP like Titanfall, but from the competitive side of things like burn cards, which can give you, I think it's double the damage on a weapon, or invisibility for an entire match if you don't die. That's also possible. Now, the nice thing about burn cards that I learned was they only last for one life when you select them or activate them. So it's not like these last for a whole game. It's not like these are something that's really imbalanced to the gameplay. They're annoying to me. It takes away from the competitiveness of the game, but I also feel like they balance that out real well. And they said this is not going to be something that's going to be a microtransaction type of thing where you have to purchase them or you can purchase them. This is all earned through gameplay. So I thought that was a really nice balance to my biggest fear about the game, which was the burn cards. And I have to admit, the game was a lot of fun. It really struck that middle line between competitive and casual in a very fun way. But at the end of the day, the game was fun, and I think that's the thing that I would reiterate the most. It was very fun.
Now, I have to agree that when I said that I wanted a next-gen experience, I was looking for a game that would give me a lot of fun, or make the experience a lot of fun, something new, something totally different from what we're used to. And I guess we're all a little tired of Call of Duty, but not just Call of Duty. People pretend like they're not tired of Battlefield. I'm
right.
tired of that too.
Even Halo.
Yeah, we've been pretty much lingering on the same 2 or 3 games throughout the remaining years of the last genre for so long that it seems like we're kind of used to a specific type of game. This game seems like they completely threw everything against the wall, changed all the formats. They're doing things that we've never thought should be done, should ever be done. In fact, even me, some of my concerns, things that I said that would never be accepted in another shooter, are being accepted in Titanfall, because this is so totally different from anything that we've seen before. So my question to Optimus, you're someone who you kind of like the casual community. You don't necessarily feel like you have to be pub stomping and smashing through people and talking trash. You want to have a good time. Do you think this game is more casual than it is competitive, or do you think this game is more competitive than it is casual?
I think it could be both, but from my experience on it, I took it more casually. Like, I was having fun again, meaning like those days when you were playing like COD 4 or MW2 with your boys, and you just you were just having conversations and just killing people and just having fun. It's one of those type of games. I don't think this is gonna be I would say a competitive game from like a Major League Gaming standpoint. I honestly, I hope it's not, because I hate when they kind of get a hold of things, but because then it becomes a little bit different. But I found it to be very casually fun, and I just think that they added just the element of being able to do so many things with the pilots, and from a skill base standpoint, like you were saying earlier, like it takes a lot of skill to be able to maneuver with those pilots. And it takes, I mean, I've had times where I've jumped from a building to the roof to a top of a Titan, brought a Titan down, jumped off the Titan as it exploded onto another Titan and killed another Titan. Like, I've done, I mean, and I'm sorry, but it's got to take some skill. And a lot of people are playing it on the ground, but don't realize that it's an up and down, vertical, horizontal game. You got to play it all over the place. So I think when you have experience in like other first-person shooters, like let's say Gotham City Imposters, where you're able to jump around, Mirror's Edge, where you're able to kind of do the parkour kind of gaming like that, Homefront, where they had dedicated servers, you're able to shoot straight, and your bullets actually hit. This game has a lot of all those, seems like it had all those elements inside of it. I know a lot of people were comparing it to Call of Duty, but I compare it to those games.
Wow. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to Mixmaker on this one, and we're going to kind of wrap this up. You coming from the Halo community, I can expect you to be playing this game on the Xbox One. Am I right when I assume that?
Yeah, I actually have decided as of last week that I'm picking up an Xbox One early for Titanfall.
Okay, and that right there kind of clarifies some of the people that are on the fence. Coming from Mixmaker, he's someone who enjoys first-person shooters. He plays Battlefield 4. He's been in some of my videos where he's sniped me before. He's someone who indulges in other types of first-person shooters, but you're willing to go out and get an Xbox One to play Titanfall because this game is worth it. You played the beta. In your mind, this game is absolutely worth it to buy that console. We all know that the Xbox One has only sold about half of what the PlayStation has sold. I think PlayStation's a little over 6 million consoles sold worldwide already, and I think Xbox right now, Microsoft, they're somewhere around 3.5. And Titanfall, in my opinion, was that game to kind of give them that nudge, get them back on the map. And to me, I thought that there was a lot of overhyping because of that factor. So my question to you, in terms of Titanfall as in general, I remember when I got my 360 and I saw Halo 3 for the first time. I remember when Halo Reach was coming out and we saw the commercial and it was the female and she was running across the battlefield, and she gets killed, and or another soldier gets killed, and somebody picks up the bomb that she had that was supposed to kill everybody. There was a lot of hype around Halo Reach, and it didn't turn out to be as good as everybody thought it was going to be. There was a lot of hype around Modern Warfare 3 and some other of the Call of Duty series and other games, and we just felt like, wow, it really wasn't what it cracked up to be. Do you feel that Titanfall should we believe the hype? Do you feel that Titanfall really is that game, that console seller, that it really is going to live up to the name?
I do, Shake. And at first, I want to kind of preface that by saying I wasn't buying into the hype. I had played this game a year ago. I think I played this back at PAX. So it was something that I had played. I thought it was fun. It wasn't something that I thought was going to be a system seller. Now with the beta, I picked up the beta, played it for 3 straight days, and I really did feel like this was something that could sell units and sell that console because it was fresh. It's hard to explain. The movement, it feels familiar. but completely new. The parkour system in that game is so good and so fun, and the level of verticality and how amazing the tactics become on the battlefield when there is that verticality. I think that's a reason why, I watch a lot of your videos, Shake, getting up to those grounds to get that perfect sniping shot or that perfect angle, or it's, taking a vehicle around the side to get to somewhere. It's those moments that really put your jaw on the floor, and Halo's been known to have those. They were kind of the king of that. Battlefield has taken over. Call of Duty has it a little bit, but Titanfall absolutely has it as well. There was one point where I was inside my Titan. I was getting pretty much triple teamed by 3 other Titans. I had to eject. I fly up in the air. I go over a building, land on the enemy Titan, and start trying to kill that Titan. That was one of those jaw on the floor, holy S moments. And it's like when you have those in a game, I really do believe that it's those kind of moments when you're sitting with friends, that moment of what did I just see? I'll never be able to recreate that. Those are the kind of games that have the longevity in great multiplayer games. So I definitely think Titanfall is up there in terms of those kind of moments, and I think it's a big reason why a lot of people are attracted to it. Again, if there's one word to describe Titanfall, it may not be the most competitive game, it may not be the most casual game, but it's absolutely one of the most fun first-person shooters that I've ever played.
Wow. Okay, now Optimus. I just asked him, should we believe the hype? In your opinion, you have gone through the frustration of games being overhyped. You get the game home front, you play it for 2 or 3 months, and you're just like, wow, this is not it anymore. Medal of Honor, you play it for 2 or 3 months, I don't know why is this game garbage now? The Halo, some of the recent Halo games, in my case, it was Halo Reach, Halo 4. It was still, I think Halo 4 was a great game. I just felt like it needed a little bit more, and I felt like if the community didn't ruin that game, I don't feel like it's being played the way it was supposed to be played. Call of Duty, especially in your mind, Optimus, has been that game that was initially the most dear to your heart game that you had. It was that game was sacred to you. Oh, yeah. Modern Warfare 2 and moving into the Black Ops series, and then you hit a wall where the frustration you just was like, wow, this game is only good for a month or two. I thought it was going to be better. How do you feel? I know you only played the beta, and we've all experienced games where they're a little bit different from the beta in a bad way. In my case, Ghost Recon Future Soldier. That game in the beta was 8v8, and then they dumped it down to 6v6, and they gave you all of this, spawn area, spawn protection locations where you can actually get kills from. The community completely ruined the game. Do you think it's possible for Titanfall to fall in that same trap? Will Titanfall last the test, or will Titanfall last the test of time, past the 3-month honeymoon stage?
Oh, I think for sure. I don't think, well, first of all, the people who made it, Respawn, they were obviously Infinity Ward before they were obviously the ones who made Modern Warfare 2 when it first came out, and Call of Duty 4, which we hold those 2 games sacred. And I've been mentioning those games all throughout this, and the reason why I've only mentioned those 2 games because those are my favorite 2 Call of Duties of all time. And the reason why, obviously, is the makers. Now, they're not going to let this game fail. They obviously know balance very well, creating those other 2 games we just mentioned, or I just mentioned, but I don't see this game having those kind of problems. I know EA is the publisher, and people are a little scared because, EA has had some moments, messing up games, but EA has no control over Titanfall. Respawn has total control, and I don't see them doing anything. I see them fixing everything. I've been on their forums. They respond to almost everything on there. They encourage people to give feedback, people that played the beta and things like that. They'll be patching things if needed to be patched. They look into everything. They monitor everything. And I don't see them letting this game fail. I know that they probably say they don't care about Call of Duty, but I think deep inside Vince Zampella's heart, he really wants to destroy that franchise after what they kind of did to them. And I think they have really gone all out in making a game that is nothing but action packed. And I'm talking like the speed of the game is I've never played a game this fast actually either. This game plays fast. Even when you're in the Titan, it's pretty fast. And Call of Duty to me does not. I played Call of Duty after playing this because when the beta ended, I actually tried to play Call of Duty and it was so boring. I couldn't even play it. And I have Ghosts. I got it for free. I haven't even played it, but it doesn't even play near as fast as this game. And I think just that alone, and the PC community, along with obviously the Xbox One community, this game is going to take off. If heaven helps, this game comes to PS4. Because I know Sony's really trying desperately to still try to get it a year from now. Heaven help if this game comes to PS4, it's over for Call of Duty. It's over for any first-person shooter. This is going to be the game that everybody starts comparing other games to.
Wow. Okay, so what I've learned from you guys, and just to clarify for the viewers and the listeners, Optimus, you are a PC gamer, and you will be gaming.
I play both.
Okay, you play both.
Yeah.
So you will be playing, but I'm assuming that you're going to be playing Titanfall on the PC.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. From what I've learned from you guys is that we shouldn't have to worry about the bots. This is definitely a game that is making changes, making new waves. It's the evolution of the first-person genre, relived or being reborn through Titanfall. The competition side of the game versus the casual side of the game, I'm understanding that it's a little bit of both. They found a nice fine medium right between, somewhere right in the middle, and somehow this game is perfect on both sides. We should believe the hype, and you guys believe that it's gonna stand the test of time. And so to me, Titanfall sounds, because I haven't played it, it sounds like a must-have, a must-buy. I'm liking what I'm hearing. You know, I think that I will be playing Titanfall. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it day one, but I think I'm definitely I'm gonna explore my opportunities or my options and definitely give Titanfall a try.
That's good to hear.
That's very good to hear. It makes me excited.
And I hope that I'm speaking for a lot of the people that are on the fence. From what I'm hearing this from some of my best friends. These are some of my best buds. I've met most of these guys in person, and or I've talked to you guys for years. I've known you guys, and
right.
You know, even the guys that I did in the last talk, I know these people. These guys are highly respected individuals in their respectful corners of the community. And so, if you guys are listening and you're considering Titanfall, maybe you're not believing the hype. It sounds like these guys know what they're talking about. I'm looking forward to playing the game. It'll be a drop in the bucket for me. If you're someone who is, kind of struggling with the cash, you're not necessarily sure if you want to upgrade your PC, you need new specs. It's going to cost you more than it costs an Xbox One, to buy one of those. Or maybe you're someone who doesn't care. Money's not really an object, but you're just looking for something new to play. We're rolling into the spring time frame, and summer's coming, and there's not a whole lot coming out. And you're looking forward to a new first-person shooter. Maybe this is something that you do on a regular. Maybe you're tired of Battlefield and Call of Duty like I am. I've been playing these games every year. They all feel virtually the same. I'm looking for the next big thing, and I'm willing to give it a try. So I hope this video helps some of you guys. It's your boy Shake. Optimus, say peace to the people.
Peace out.
Say peace to the people. Mix.
Peace.
All right, guys. And as always, we'll holla at you dudes later.
Man, I don't really like using the sniper.
I do.